The Urantia book, Decoded, full course. Episode 2, The Eternal Partners, Part 1. Imagine the deepest silence you have ever experienced. Not an empty silence, but a silence so full of meaning it feels like a word waiting to be spoken. Now imagine that silence at the very core of existence becoming so rich with love that it could no longer contain itself. It had to express, it had to resonate, it had to become a tone. That first eternal tone, that perfect and personal vibration echoing from the heart of the Father, is the Son. He is not a second thought or a later creation. He is love's own voice, speaking itself into personal existence for all eternity. If the Father is the infinite composer, the Son is the everlasting symphony, a symphony that is both the music and the musician, forever playing the heart of the composer. We left our last journey having met the Father, the person at the beginning, the source and center of all. But a source, by its very nature, flows. A center, by its design, radiates. Love, by its essence, must give itself away. So what happens when infinite love turns its gaze upon itself? It doesn't see a mirror, it sees a perfect child, a living echo that is both uniquely itself and a flawless image of its source. This is the mystery of the eternal Son, the second person of the Paradise Trinity. He is what happens when love looks in the mirror and says, "You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased," and that reflection steps out of the glass as a living, co-equal person. The Father loves, the Son is that love personified, walking and talking for all eternity. The revelators give him a title that is a key to understanding the entire universe: second source and center. Let's feel the weight of those words. He is a source. From him flows all pure spirit reality, every spirit being, every angelic essence, every spark of personality that is not directly the Father's fragment finds its lineage in this Son. He is the fountainhead of spirit, but he is also a center. If the Father is gravity for all things and beings, the Son is the specific, powerful gravity for all spirit. He is the magnet for souls. That longing you feel for something more, that pull toward truth, beauty, and goodness, that isn't a vague spiritual wish. It is a literal spiritual gravitational force, and you are feeling the personal pull of the Son's being drawing your soul upward. This changes how we think about truth. We often think of truth as a set of facts, a list of doctrines, or a philosophical conclusion. But here, truth is not an it. Truth is a he. The Son is truth. He is the perfect pattern, the divine template of reality. The Father's love is the raw creative energy. The Son's truth is the perfect mold into which that energy is poured. Everything that is good, beautiful, and real in a spiritual sense is an echo of his personality pattern. Your soul, as it grows, is not just learning true things, it is being slowly, lovingly rewoven to match the vibration, the character, the very being of this eternal Son. You are not memorizing a textbook, you are being tuned to a living frequency. Now, let's bring this down to the human heart, to your own experience. Have you ever looked at a sunset and felt an ache of beauty so deep it almost hurt? Have you ever heard a piece of music that seemed to unlock a memory of a home you've never visited? Have you ever encountered an act of pure, selfless kindness and felt, yes, that is how things are supposed to be? In those moments, you are not just having an emotion, you are receiving a broadcast. You are picking up a signal from the second source and center.
That ache is your soul, calibrated for the sun's perfection, recognizing a faint reflection of it in your world. It is your spirit homesickness for the personality of truth. This understanding solves a great problem for the sincere seeker. Many of us have tried to pray to or conceive of an infinite, formless absolute, and we find our minds spinning, our hearts unable to connect. How do you hug a principle? How do you love a cloud? The revelation here offers a divine shortcut, a cosmic act of mercy. Look to the sun. In the person of the sun, infinity becomes approachable. The formless takes a form we can love. The abstract law becomes a living brother. Your worship gains a focus. Your adoration has a face. You are not asked to love an idea, but a person whose very nature is the truth you are seeking to become. The relationship between the Father and the Son is the most profound and creative friendship in all of existence. It is not a hierarchy of command, but a circle of communion. The Father gazes upon the Son and sees his own perfect love looking back. The Son gazes upon the Father and sees the source of his own being. This eternal gaze, this infinite sharing of love and recognition is so potent, so joyfully explosive, that it gives birth to a third person. But before that, this union establishes the fundamental law of the cosmos. Reality springs from relationship. Nothing divine is ever done alone. Creation is a conversation. The sacred texts of our world whisper about this in the concept of the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is a mystical pointer to the Son. He is the Father's first and perfect thought, spoken eternally. But think of a word for a moment. A word is not the speaker, yet it carries the speaker's mind, intent, and personality out into the world. It makes the invisible visible. The Son is that living word. He is how the silent, unknowable depths of the Father's heart become knowable, audible, lovable. He is the translation of essence into expression. We can see a shadow of this in our own creative acts. An artist has a feeling, a vision deep within. It is vague, powerful, but trapped. Then she chooses a medium, paint, clay, music. The moment she makes the first stroke, the first note, that inner vision begins its journey into the shared world. That first stroke is crucial. It is the bridge. The Son is that first and eternal and perfect stroke. He is the medium the Father chooses to express his infinite self. He is not the entirety of the Father's being, but he is the perfect and complete expression of it that can be personally communicated. This makes the Son the ultimate pattern, the divine archetype. Every genuine personality in the universe, from the highest archangel to the seeking human soul, is a unique variation on the foundational theme of the Son's personality. Think of him as the root musical key. Every soul is a song composed in that key, with its own melody and rhythm, but all harmonizing with the original tone. Your individuality is not an accident. It is a deliberate and cherished variation sung from the Song of Songs. You are an original story, but written in the grammar of divine truth. This has a deeply comforting implication. It means you are not trying to invent your spiritual self from scratch. You are trying to remember it, to tune it. The blueprint for your perfected personality already exists in the mind of God, patterned after the Son. Your life's work is not to create something new out of nothing, but to uncover the masterpiece that already exists beneath the debris of fear, error, and selfishness. The indwelling adjuster is the keeper of that blueprint, and your moments of courage, love, and integrity are the chisel strokes revealing it. So the Father and Son are not static points. They are a dynamic, loving circuit. This circuit is alive with creative power. Their union is the generator of all that follows. From their perfect partnership flows the will to create universes, the love that infuses them, and the truth that structures them. They are the ultimate parents, and their first child is the very possibility of everything else, the potential for time, space, mind, and adventure. But a potential needs an activator, a force to move it from the dream state into reality. This need brings us to the threshold of a new mystery, to the moment when the divine duet becomes a trio and the circle of love expands to include the infinite actor, the mother spirit of the cosmos.
If the eternal conversation between the Father and Son is the most beautiful song ever composed, then the infinite Spirit is that song breaking into dance. She is the living motion, the dynamic execution, the powerful and personal force that takes the divine score and makes the universe sing. The revelators call her the third source and center, the conjoint actor. Conjoint is the key. She is not an afterthought, but the joint creation, the equal person who springs eternally from the union of the Father's love and the Son's truth. They are their shared breath made manifest, the child of paradise who inherits the creativity of the Father and the spirit nature of the Son, and then brings something entirely new to existence, universal mind and personal ministry. Think of a magnificent idea born between two great minds. The idea is brilliant, perfect in concept, but it remains trapped in the realm of thought until a third person arrives, the maker, the engineer, the one with the skill and energy to gather the materials, follow the plans, and build the idea into a structure you can walk through. The infinite spirit is that cosmic engineer. The Father is the visionary, the Son is the perfect architect's blueprint, and the Spirit is the master builder who picks up the tools and makes it so. She is the divine verb, where the Father is the noun and the Son is the adjective. This is where the universe gains its intelligence, its responsive animation. The Spirit is the source of all mind, not just human intellect, but the ordered intelligence in an atom, the instinct in an animal, the guiding wisdom in a seraph. Your ability to think, to reason, to wonder why, that is not a biological accident. It is a gift from the Mother Spirit. She is the one who broods over the chaos of potential and whispers the first laws of relationship, order, and growth. Your curiosity is her touch upon your consciousness. But her role is not just raw intelligence, it is ministry, active, compassionate service. If the Son is the truth we are drawn toward, the Spirit is the help we receive on the path. She is the great comforter, the nurturer, the unseen hand that arranges circumstances for our growth. Her presence manifests in the universe through a vast family of ministering spirits, the angels, seraphims, and others who work tirelessly, not as rulers, but as servants, guides, and guardians for every soul on its ascent. That sudden sense of peace in a storm, that intuitive nudge away from danger, that unexpected surge of strength when you are at your weakest, these are not coincidences. They are the personal ministry of the Spirit, often delivered through her celestial children. You are being mothered by the cosmos itself. This completes the foundational circle, the Trinity. It is not a confusing math problem to be solved, but a loving relationship to be experienced. Love, the Father, desires expression, the Son, and that expression, in union with love, desires to act, to serve, to nurture, the Spirit.
It is a perpetual outpouring cycle. For you, this means you live in a universe governed not by a solitary stern power, but a divine family. You have a father who gives you life and a fragment of his own presence, a brother-son who is the pattern for your soul and has walked your path, and a mother spirit who surrounds you with mind, ministry, and compassionate care in every moment. Understanding this familial architecture changes your spiritual practice from a transaction with a distant king to a conversation within a household. Prayer becomes less about pleading and more about aligning yourself with the current of love, truth, and service that flows between these three persons. You are not shouting into a void, you are learning the language of your own home. With this triad of personal powers established, the source, the pattern, and the activator, the stage is now set. But a stage needs a platform. Love, truth, and action require a stable, absolute reality upon which to unfold their drama. This brings us to the silent foundation of all that is, the eternal and unmoving Isle of Paradise. Beyond the warm personal presences of the Trinity exists a reality so absolute, so foundational, that it challenges our very ability to imagine. It is not a person, yet it is the source of all personality circuits. It is not spirit, yet it is the anchor for all spirit gravity. It is not matter as we know it, yet it is the eternal architectural blueprint from which all physical universes are derived. This is the Isle of Paradise. Do not think of it as a place you could ever travel to in a starship. Think of it as the absolute coordinate of existence, the 0 point from which all dimensions expand and around which all creation revolves. If the Trinity is the living heart of God, Paradise is his eternal home and his master workshop. Imagine you are an artist and you wish to paint the most magnificent mural imaginable. Before your first brushstroke, you need a wall, a stable, unchanging surface that will hold your creation. That wall is not part of the painting's story, but without it, the painting could not exist. Paradise is that wall. It is the non-created, eternal foundation upon which the Father projects the living drama of time and space. It is absolutely material, but of a material reality so dense, so perfect, and so unlike anything in our revolving universes that it constitutes an entirely different order of being. It is the one and only one thing in all of reality that is truly and perfectly motionless. Everything else, from a spinning electron to a swirling galaxy, is in motion relative to this immovable center. This concept of an absolute center is not a poetic metaphor, it is the functional bedrock of cosmic mechanics. All gravity, both physical and spiritual, flow in majestic, concentric patterns inward toward paradise. Physical gravity pulls mass and energy inexorably toward the material center of this eternal isle. Spirit gravity pulls personality and soul essence inward toward the spirit presences of the Trinity that dwell at its heart. This means you are right now caught in a gentle cosmic tide. Your physical body is subject to the material pull of your planet, which is part of a vast cascade of gravity leading back to paradise. Your soul is subject to the spiritual pull of truth, beauty, and goodness that has its focal point at paradise. You are always being drawn homeward. Paradise is also the infinite fountainhead of all energy. The stupendous forces that activate stars, spin galaxies, and animate life do not arise randomly. They issue in patterned, intelligent streams from this eternal isle. These primal energies flow outward through the central universe, are qualified and differentiated by the master spirits, and then meticulously distributed by the power directors to shape and sustain the evolving realms of time and space. The electricity in a storm, the nuclear fire in the sun, the chemical energy in your cells, all of it is a downstream trickle from this infinite wellspring of pure force. The universe is not winding down, it is being constantly renewed and repowered from its absolute core. For you, the seeker, the practical implication is a profound sense of cosmic trust. The ground of all being is not chaotic, illusory, or malevolent. It is stable, eternal, and perfect. Your spiritual path is therefore not a journey into vague abstraction, but a real journey toward a real center. Meditation and worship can be understood as the conscious practice of aligning your being with these gravitational pulls, sitting in stillness to feel your soul's tug toward spirit, and acknowledging your body's connection to a grand, orderly physical universe whose blueprint is perfection itself. You are learning to orient your inner compass to the only true north that exists. With the Trinity established as the personal source of love, truth, and action, and with Paradise revealed as the impersonal foundation of stability, energy, and pattern, the cosmic stage is fully set. The actors are present, the theater is built and illuminated. But between the eternal perfection of this central core and the emerging chaotic potential of new creation lies a gulf, a gap that must be bridged by experience, by evolution, by a graduated curriculum of growth. This gulf is filled by the universe of consummate beauty and finished reality, Havona, the divine template and the eternal school for souls. Between the absolute perfection of Paradise and the nascent, striving realms of time and space, there exists a universe of consummate beauty and finished reality. This is Havona, the central universe. It did not evolve. It was never created in time. It simply is and always has been alongside the Trinity, a living, breathing masterpiece that exists as the perfect expression of divine thought translated into divine fact. Imagine a symphony where every note has always existed in flawless harmony, a painting where every brushstroke is eternally ideal, a garden where every flower blooms in a state of perpetual radiant becoming. Havona is that symphony, that painting, that garden, existing on a scale of 1 billion perfect worlds, each a unique and breathtaking chapter in the eternal story of divine completeness. Havona is not merely a place, it is the university of eternity. Its 1 billion spheres are arranged not for simple residence, but for profound, progressive education. They are the curriculum. Each world presents a distinct phase of spiritual truth, cosmic philosophy, or personality realization, progressing from simpler, more accessible concepts near the periphery to the awe-inspiring transcendent realities closer to Paradise. For the ascending souls who eventually reach its shores, pilgrims like us who began our journey on worlds of time, Havona is the final and most glorious school before Paradise attainment. But for the eternal beings native to this realm, it is simply home, and their perfect joy is to serve as guides and instructors for those who arrive from the outer darkness, hungry for final truth. This reveals a pivotal truth about the cosmic scheme. The ascension plan is not a vague spiritual sentiment. It is a structured educational journey with a clear destination and a meticulously designed syllabus. You are not merely becoming more spiritual. You are a student in the grandest university imaginable, and your current life on Earth is the first foundational grade in a limitless academic career. The trials, relationships, moral choices, and moments of love in your life here are your prerequisite courses, the essential lessons in personality development that determine your readiness for the more advanced training on the mansion worlds and beyond, all leading ultimately to the halls of Havona. The existence of Havona solves a profound existential dilemma. How can imperfect, evolving creatures ever hope to comprehend, let alone approach, absolute perfection? The answer is that perfection itself has constructed a bridge of graduated lessons. Havona is that bridge. It is perfection slowed down, translated, and unfolded into a billion manageable sequential revelations. An ascending mortal does not leap from human confusion to divine clarity in an instant. They spiral inward through these billion worlds, absorbing truth, beauty, and goodness in stages their growing soul can actually digest and integrate. Perfection, therefore, is not a distant, intimidating pole star, but a welcoming path, a spiral staircase with a step for every level of understanding you achieve. For us now, in our earthly state, the meaning of Havona is of immense hope and context. It tells us that our deepest confusion has an answer, our longing has a fulfillment, and our most burning questions have a classroom where they will be lovingly and patiently addressed. The intuition you carry that truth exists somewhere, whole and complete, is not an illusion. It is the soul's homing instinct, sensing the gravitational pull of the billion spheres. Your intellectual yearning to understand and your spiritual yearning to behold beauty are the divine curriculum already calling to you from your future. Your life's supreme purpose is to earn your passport to that journey through the choices of faith, love, and willing service that you make today. With the perfect pattern of Havona established, the cosmic narrative is ready to introduce the bold, creative architects who will take this divine template and dare to build with it in the unpredictable, thrilling medium of time. These are the creator sons, the Michaels of the local universes. They are the avatars of the Father and the Son, personalized universe builders who voluntarily leave the perfection of paradise to embark on the supreme adventure of fostering evolution, shepherding free will, and guiding souls like ours from humble origins to unimaginable glory. They are the heroes of our local story and our most personal link to the central powers of eternity. The narrative of creation now turns from the eternal and perfect to the adventurous and profoundly personal. From the portals of paradise emerge the ultimate pioneers, the creator sons. These are not mere administrators of a finished realm. They are sovereigns of possibility, the courageous volunteers who take the divine blueprints of Havona and the infinite love of the Father-Son union into the uncharted frontiers of space and time to build something new, something alive with potential. A creator son, often called a Michael after the first and chief of their order, is a unique being, a direct personalization of the original father-son concept. He is endowed with the spirit of the Father and the personality pattern of the eternal Son. He is, in the most literal and awesome sense, a son of God, sent to create a family, to become a father himself. When such a son arrives in a vast pre-organized domain of space, he does not work alone. He is partnered with a complement, a creative daughter of the infinite spirit, a universe mother spirit. This partnership mirrors the foundational creative union on a local level. Together, this divine pair undertakes the monumental task of creating a universe. From the cosmic mind and the transformative energies flowing from paradise, they elaborate galaxies, whirl solar systems into being, and foster the slow, majestic procession of physical and spiritual evolution upon a million worlds. But their primary mission is not cold architecture, it is warm parenthood. Their universe is not merely a physical structure, but a nursery for souls, a cradle for personalities that will one day ascend to know the very sources of their being. The Creator Sun is our local universe father. The Mother Spirit is our local universe mother. Our immediate cosmic lineage, our spiritual hometown, begins with them. The most astonishing aspect of a Michael's career is not the initial breathtaking act of creation, but the subsequent humbling act of immersion. To fully understand, govern, and spiritually redeem his children, a Creator Son undertakes 7 unique bestowal missions. He voluntarily and repeatedly sets aside his sovereign power, and in the form of one of his own creatures, lives a full life from birth to death within the very conditions he has established. He bestows himself as a baby of a humble order, as a child, as an adult, experiencing the full spectrum of existence, from the most primitive biological levels to the most demanding moral tests of advanced beings. He does this to achieve supreme goals, experiential wisdom, earned judicial sovereignty, and merciful, intimate understanding. This bestowal plan is the ultimate expression of divine empathy. It means the ruler of your universe has not just decreed the laws you live under, he has personally lived under them. He has felt hunger, known fatigue, endured temptation, wept in sorrow, and rejoiced in love, all within the limitations of a creature's life. He has submitted to the very evolutionary processes he initiated.
There is no gap of understanding between the Creator and the creature. He has bridged it himself from our side. This is why we can have absolute confidence in a sovereign who is touched with the feeling of our infirmities. He is not a distant king, but a brother sovereign who has earned his right to rule by the sweat of his brow and the love in his heart. For our world, Urantia, the final and most sublime of these 7 bestowals occurred in the life of Jesus of Nazareth. This was the 7th bestowal of Michael of Nebadon, our local universe. In that life, a Creator Son, a being of unimaginable power and antiquity who had fashioned galaxies, lived the life of a human being, from infant vulnerability to immortal death. This was not a theophany, a temporary appearance in a human disguise. It was a complete incarnation, a full immersion. The being who set stars in their courses learned the carpenter's trade. The Father of angels felt the sting of human rejection. The source of life submitted to biological death. This act forever changed the relationship between the human and the divine in our local universe. It welded a bond of shared experience that can never be broken. For your practical spiritual life, the implication is revolutionary. You are not striving to please a deity who has no concept of your struggle. You are learning to cooperate with a father-brother who has faced every aspect of it and triumphed. Your prayers are heard by one who has prayed in desperate loneliness in a garden. Your service is observed by one who washed the feet of his friends. Your moments of doubt are understood by one who cried, "Why have you forsaken me?" from a cross. This bestowal is the universe's guarantee that your local administration is not based on cold, abstract justice alone, but on merciful, experiential love. Your judge has sat in your dock. Your king has slept in your stable. This truth transforms the cosmos from a courtroom into a home. A universe conceived in infinite love cannot be governed by remote decree. It must be administered through intimate, personal ministry. This is the purpose of the celestial hierarchies, a vast living network of intelligent beings who translate the abstract love of God into concrete guidance, protection, and education for every single soul. This is not a cold bureaucracy, but a warm family of service. Imagine a cosmic ecosystem of help where every blade of spiritual grass, every growing personality is tended by gardeners of unimaginable wisdom and compassion. From the highest counselors on the constellation capitals to the personal guardian seraph who walk unseen beside you, the universe is staffed with personalities whose sole joy is to facilitate your growth and safeguard your journey. At the head of this local administration, under the Creator Sun, we find beings of majestic authority like the bright and morning star, the firstborn of Michael's creation, and the union of days, a direct representative of the Paradise Trinity. But closer to our human experience are orders like Melchizedek's. These are the wise ones, the teachers, the troubleshooters of the universe. They are ascending suns who have voluntarily paused their own paradise journey to serve as planetary receivers, emergency rulers, and instructors of truth. They are the cosmic professors, equally at home explaining metaphysics to a confused mortal or stabilizing a planet in political crisis. When a world falls into spiritual darkness, as ours did, a Melchizedek steps in to hold the light, to preserve the fragile flame of truth until a new dispensation can be established. Then there are the seraphim, the angels of ministry and guardianship. Your personal guardian seraph is not a mere symbol or a comforting idea. She is a reality, a loving and patient spirit companion assigned to you from birth until you no longer need her guidance. Her role is not to control your choices, that would violate your sacred free will, but to subtly influence your environment, to arrange accidental meetings, to guard you from unnecessary physical and spiritual harm, and to foster every noble impulse of your heart. She works in perfect, silent harmony with your indwelling thought adjuster. While the adjuster speaks from within in the language of pure truth and leading, your seraph works from without, shaping circumstances to provide you with the ideal, personalized curriculum for soul growth. You are never, ever alone. This celestial family extends to the very soil of our world. At the dawn of human evolution, a planetary prince and his corporeal staff are sent to a planet like ours. This prince, a Lanondek son, establishes a physical headquarters, a Garden of Eden, and begins the work of civilizing and spiritually uplifting the primitive races. He teaches agriculture, art, government, and, most importantly, the simple concept of one loving God. The plan was for the prince and his material helpers to biologically uplift the natives over generations, eventually blending with them to produce a leadership race that would spiritually accelerate the entire world. This was the original, peaceful plan for Urantia, a plan tragically shattered by rebellion. The fact of rebellion introduces the sobering reality of free will into our cosmic story. The Prince of Urantia, Caligastia, in league with a high system sovereign named Lucifer, chose to reject the universe government and declare a gospel of supposed liberty, self-assertion, and independence from the perceived tyranny of divine law.
This was not a mere political dispute, it was a catastrophic betrayal of trust that plunged our planet into a long spiritual quarantine. The circuits of life and communication were cut. The planetary administration collapsed. The physical uplift staff, now stranded and mortal, became the source of the confusing and potent legends of gods and heroes intermingling with humans in our ancient past. Why does a loving universe allow such a thing? Because love cannot coerce. The gift of personality and free will is absolute and must be respected, even when it is used to make choices that cause immense suffering. The rebellion was allowed to run its course as a lesson to all observers, a demonstration of the inevitable bitter fruit of rejecting the divine plan of loving service. But love also responds. The rebellion did not cause the Father to abandon Urantia. It triggered a greater response of mercy, the bestowal of Michael as Jesus, a personal love invasion to shatter the spiritual deadlock and show the way out of the self-made darkness. You live on a world with a tragic history, but a glorious destiny, where every act of genuine love is a direct assault on that ancient legacy of betrayal. With this understanding of the personal ministries that surround us, we bring the cosmic foundation all the way home to the human being. What are you in light of all this architecture? You are a triune creature, a material body, a mediating mind, and an immortal spirit soul in the making, all indwelt by the pure presence of a Father fragment. You are a living workshop where eternity intersects with time. Your body is your spaceship, a sacred gift for experiencing and learning. Your mind is the bridge and the commander, the arena of free will choice. Your soul is the precious newborn reality woven from your morally responsible decisions, the eternal tapestry you are spinning with every choice for truth, beauty, and goodness. The indwelling adjuster is the silent partner in this enterprise, the fragment of the Father's own mind and spirit. It does not coerce, but persistently illuminates the higher choice. Its goal is fusion, to so unify its perfect nature with your evolving soul that a new eternal entity emerges. The practical path, then, is conscious cooperation. It begins with recognition. Sit in silence and acknowledge the guest. Speak to this inner presence. Ask, "What would you have me do?" Then listen. The path continues with decision. See every moral choice as soul-building material. Choose the response that aligns with love, patience, mercy, and truth. The path is lived in service. Channel the love you receive to others. In simple acts of kindness, you become a partner with your seraphim, a colleague of the angels in the healing of your world. We have reached the synthesis. We began with a single point of personal love and traced its outflow through sons and spirits, perfect patterns and courageous creators, administrations and angels, all the way to the quiet spark of that same love dwelling within you.
The cosmos is a family, a school of love. You are a student with a divine tutor, a child with eternal parents, a pilgrim on a guaranteed journey home. This understanding is the unshakable foundation. You are known, loved, guided, and needed. The adventure of aligning your little life with this grand story is the only work that ultimately matters. It is the path from being a creature of God to becoming a creative son or daughter of God, destined for a service and a joy we cannot yet imagine. The course is set. The teachers are waiting. The journey continues now, in this very breath, with this next faith-filled choice. As the echo of this eternal partnership settles in your spirit, remember this: you are not a listener to this story.
You are a living character within it. The same love that spoke the sun into existence now whispers your name. The same truth that patterns the spheres is rewriting your soul. If this resonance between the cosmic and the personal has stirred something within you, then you have felt the gravity of the second source. Please help this channel become a beacon in the digital noise for other seekers. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join us as we continue decoding the divine architecture. Drop a comment below and tell us what aspect of this eternal partnership resonated most deeply in your own journey. For in sharing your light, you help illuminate the path for others walking this same spiral ascent. Remember, the greatest partnership awaiting you is not in the stars, but in the silent communion between your will and the indwelling presence. Thank you for watching.